Okay, there it is. We get the seat is bolted in. Spent some time on the phone with Joe Wallace. Joe, thanks for the photographs and the coaching. You know, I put the seat in this go-kart. There was no seat in this cart, so I put that one in for Brooklyn, who ended up not really driving it. But so I've done this before. I've done it at the go-kart joint. I've never put in a $360 or $70, $80 seat though. That's what makes you nervous when they cost that much money. You don't want to screw them up. I was telling Joe, the seat struts aren't positioned on the seat like most others are. I don't know if this part of the seat isn't as deep as other ones. You know, maybe they're, but you know, it's about even with the front of the axle, maybe a little further back, but not much. We did the wood with the cardboard. You can see that everything's bolted in. The cardboard is loose, so we don't have any worries of this thing being too close to the ground and scraping. Let's go ahead and take the old 2x4 off. There's no extra charge for the scratching the paint there, Robert. I'll try to take it easy and not make you guys seasick with this old camera. But this one actually has a clock on the front of it, so I can see how long the movie's going. The other one has an LED on both sides, so I can see myself at first, then the screen goes black. And we don't know how long those videos are running. That's why they got broke up into pieces. Those 2 videos were actually 4. I didn't show you the second part of the first one because I think it was only like 9 seconds long. But there was almost a full minute left of the other one, and so I posted it up. But there you go. It's, you know, we straightened that thing up 2 inches. So this side of the seat wasn't going to move. It's like Joe says, it's even with that front, with that outside of the gas pedal, which is what he was explaining, and it's about 2 inches past the outside of the brake pedal, which is about what he was dealing with. We measured from here to each kingpin, and because the seat is on an angle, as you can see, this one is not quite as deep into the lip of the seat. But this one here, I had these washers I made. Thanks, Chuck, by the way. Old buddy Chuck left some plastic laying around here for making the box for his, not the smoker, for his barbecue, for his camper. And that came in handy. I used some hole saw action and made some nice big round 1/4 inch thick plastic washers. So she's good and tight. You know, concerned that you obviously don't have as much room for your leg on this side as you do on this side. But again, Joe sent me pictures of his cart, and although I didn't drive that one, he said they have the same seats, are set up exactly the same. He said, you drove it like that, you know, when you get in, you kind of gotta bend your knee and stick it out and around. And I remember he's got these little bungee cords, little miniature bungees, holding his airbox on the little pipe mount. And every time I got in and out, I kept knocking that little gizmo off of there, and that's why, because it's really tight on this side. So I think we'll be fine. We'll be okay. I'm going to get it on the ground tomorrow. It's already 8 o'clock tonight on the 8th. 8th? Is it the 8th? I think it's the 8th. Right? 9th? Where's our phone? Here it is. Yeah, so August 8th. It's Thursday. Yeah, it's getting there. You know, we'll start dropping the motor on, and we'll start, you know, running the things that we can, doing what we can while we wait for our radiator to get here. We still need to. I've been taking measurements with the caliper here, the digital caliper, measuring first the outside to outside of the spline here, because My gear is held on with just a snap ring. That's it. That's all that holds the countershaft sprocket on. So calling the metrics fastener place today, I said the bottom of the groove measurement. He said no, just measure the shaft, and that's how the snap rings are sized. The groove in any American or metric are always the same depth. So imagine that, something universal from English to metric. But so this is 20. Bottom of the groove was 18. I was, I'd have bought snap rings that are too small. So I got to get an order into him. It's called Metrics Unlimited. It's right across the street from the GM Tech Center down here in Warren. Been over there a bunch of times buying nuts and bolts. They're really cool over there. They got everything, man. So we'll put in an order and have Kenny pick it up. We'll pay for it with the credit card and have Kenny pick that stuff up. But we needed E-clips for the top of our kingpins. These are 8mm. This isn't the big 10mm kingpin. This is an 8mm kingpin. And the bottom of the groove is 4mm. So I'll give the guy that information. And they're literally 4 cents a piece. So I can buy, 4 or 5 of 3 different sizes just to make sure I get the right one. We're going to have to measure this here too. We know it's a 17mm stub axle because we know the bearings are inside diameter 17. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and loosen this up, pull the whole wheel hub and everything off, and we'll measure the bottom of the groove and see what that dimension is, and then we'll tell them it's a 17 with a groove this deep. And so we'll get some multiple different size E-clips here and here. And for the ones you don't use, you'll find a use for them or not, or they'll lay around and you'll tell stories about how you bought you bought 3 different kinds just to make sure you got the right one. But to go down to, like, say, the hardware store, down to your Ace Hardware, wherever, your commercial brand hardware, and buy a, say, for an American Enduro, right, the 5/8 snap ring for the 5/8 steering shaft. Down there, that's 5/8. That's probably anywhere between 98 cents and $1.50 for one. I'm paying 4 cents a piece. So when you buy from a real nut and bolt store, you get a far better deal. So yeah, it was a little difficult getting this thing set up by looking at pictures of carts last night and whatever, because this bolt is usually somewhere out here, and then the other 2 that they're running down here are all in a pretty nice line, and everything's lined up. But once you stand this thing up, I guess it moves forward a bit, and it goes higher. Obviously, this one's way higher than that one, and that's like that on every cart, even if it is leaned in, because this one really takes a turn. Not sure why they do that. Why they don't just run it right up here, but that's really as far back. We could have went a little bit further back, maybe another ½ inch back, but that's really as far back as we could go, and that's what I told Joe I was going to do. Just put it back as far as I could get it, because it won't be too far away. I'll never feel too far away from the steering wheel. I'll never feel too far away from the pedals. So we'll get her on the ground tomorrow and sit in it, and maybe we'll bring you some more. Maybe we'll bolt the motor on and all that stuff. Who knows? But that's it. I just wanted to bring you the whole deal with the seat in. We're making progress. The more I think about what I have to do yet, the more I think, man, it's gonna be really close. I'm not gonna say it isn't gonna make it, and I'm not gonna say it is gonna make it, because it's really 50-50 at this point. We're gonna try. We're gonna be out here working on it as often as we can. We got the weekend coming. We had 2 days of downpour, so we got another 2 days of cutting grass. And when I cut, you know how it is, folks. When I cut the grass, my back just hurts so darn bad. I can't do anything, don't want to do anything for a couple of days. So, Brother Kenny, come on out and ride the mower for me, cut the grass so I can get this cart together. Randy and Glenda, how are you? I talked to Randy last night a little bit. I talked to Paul Nickel last night. He packed up his trailer and he had to go to Kenosha or something, Wisconsin, or Oshkosh or something like that. I don't know, for work. So he took his trailer and his carts And he's going to stop at Blackhawk on the way back and race his go-kart and then come test with us on that Monday on the 26th. He was going to be coming home from Summit Point that day, but because he went and raced at Blackhawk, he's going to skip Summit Point and test with us on Monday, so that'll be cool. It was good talking to Paul, Randy, Joe, the big help this afternoon. You know, this is not my forte, folks. This is not my thing. So I'll take as much advice as I can, but inevitably we're going to throw this thing on the racetrack, and I'm not going to do a lot of talking to people about, oh, gee, it's doing this, it's doing that. I'm just going to start making changes myself according to the book, the manual, right, and see what it does. We'll get the cart on the ground tomorrow. We'll sit in it. Hopefully we'll get some pictures or something, and maybe we'll bust the manual out and run through that or do a video of that real quick, and all the handling issues that you can come up with and have to deal with. So there you go for the 8th. Randy and Glenda. As long as you can cook in that kitchen, Randy, it's good to go. Speaking of cooking, I got to get inside, get cooking. It's 8 o'clock. Sherry hasn't ate yet. Love y'all. Hang in there. I'm praying for you. It'll get better.